Hey everybody, Who's Your Jedi here with another review for you. This time talking episode 4 of season 3 of The Flash called The New Rogues. And all in all, I thought this was a pretty solid episode. With Captain Cold and Heatwave heading off to be on Legends of Tomorrow, we're going to want some more characters from the classic Flash Rogues gallery around to sort of pick up the slack. And this time around, we get Top and Mirror Master. And ultimately, I thought these were fairly good takes on the character. There are some problems with this episode, but we'll get into that in a minute. Let's talk about the rogues here. So one thing I definitely like about this episode is we get to find out what Smart was doing when the particle accelerator exploded. And of course, it's always nice to see Wentworth Miller back. Now, it's interesting about Mirror Master is apparently when he was trapped in that mirror, time didn't pass for him, which normally, like you can see in the comics, like the mirror universe is this crazy thing that looks like something out of an M.C. Escher painting. But here, of course, this is TV, so they tone all of that down. They did do a nice job of showing, Mirror Master using his powers in kind of cool ways, and ultimately Barry using smarts to take him out. I also liked how Harrison Wells, or Harry, I guess I should say, mentioned, we had a Mirror Master on our Earth. He was called Evan McCullough. He had a mirror gun. Evan McCullough was basically like a Scottish guy who took up the mantle of Mirror Master for a time in the comics. And Mirror Gun is in keeping with, I believe, the Silver Age version of the character. Now, the Top is quite different here. Top had basically kind of these spitting powers in the comics, and it wasn't until, I think it was Jeff Johns before they came up with a take on the character that really seemed to work for me. And of course, in the comics, Top was a man named Roscoe Dillon. Here, I believe they said that they changed the female who was named Rosalind Dillon, if I heard correctly. And instead of spinning, they just kind of give her these power to basically induce vertigo. Now, Cisco's really stretching it when he comes up with the name Top, but okay, we'll go with that. I also like how if you pay, it didn't hit me until after the episode, and then I happened to be looking some stuff and sort of saw a picture of the Top's costume and realized that her sort of yellow and green outfit is obviously inspired by the Top's yellow and green outfit in the comics. In the comics, Mirror Master wears an orange and green outfit. Here, they just had him put on a nice suit, which, I'm cool with that. Let's see. And sort of recasting these two as sort of Bonnie and Clyde sort of characters who are looking to be the new top super criminals in town. I mean, it's a nice and interesting take on the character. It also kind of fits with them. This is being Jesse Quick's first proper outing as a superhero, so you've got, a male and a female hero and a male and a female villain. So, Jesse gets her first victory in taking down the Top, which is cool. I mean, she does stumble during the first time around, but of course that happens because that's the way drama works. Definitely enjoyed that training sequence with Jesse and Barry, and sort of the Flash running around chasing after Mirror Master, and the way all that was handled. That was really nicely done. The special effects this episode were really, really nice. The stuff with Alchemy doesn't really get advanced super far, but they do realize it's it probably wasn't Alchemy who killed Edward Claris in his cell. Yeah, pretty safe to say it was almost certainly Savitar, but we'll have to see what's going on there. So this is an episode where there's a lot of romance in the air, and it gets to be a little bit much. It gets to the point where even Joe has something going on with this assistant district attorney lady who we've seen before. I believe her name is Cecile. I do kind of like how they sort of admit the whole thing of these two, how Iris and Barry, basically raised together as brother and sister, are now romantically involved, and it's a little bit weird understanding that things are heading in a more intimate direction. And, they handled this probably about as well as it can be handled. I like how it's really mostly just Barry and Joe who are having uncomfortable with all of this, and Iris is just what? This is fine. Let's see. And then, of course, there's the tension going on between Wally and Jesse. And, they're obvious. These two are very obviously been into each other for a while. But while he does raise the good points, like, look, you're going back to your Earth soon. There's, us starting something that's going to be a romance across different realities is maybe not such a good idea, which is not an unreasonable point. In fact, if you ever read the old Marvel versus DC crossover from back in the 90s, they actually had like Tim Drake and Jubilee meet, and it was like immediate sparks fly between the two of them, and they're like, "Oh wow, it really sucks that we have to one fight each other, and two that we're from other dimensions because apparently we are ridiculously compatible with each other." Which not sure how much I actually bought into that, but it ultimately did add some depth to that particular story, and there was even a follow-up to that miniseries called All Access, where Jubilee actually manages to get back to the DC universe, and she and Robin team up and take down Two-Face. It was pretty cool, actually. Let's see. But ultimately, they kind of like, F it, teenage hormones, let's make out. Which, okay, cool. I'm a little surprised that nobody's commented on like Jesse basically kind of recycling the Velocity uniforms. They're like, hey, wait a minute, that's not the evil female speedster, is it? Right? But okay, we'll go with that. Let's see, what else do we have to talk about? Well, there's the whole thing with getting a new Harrison Wells around, which they're just being just completely shameless with that. The whole thing with them like sending out that sort of mathematical help wanted ad, it's actually kind of in keeping with some stuff NASA has done with sending stuff to try and make it so that aliens can contact us. It's basically they've set up sort of these puzzles involving mathematics that, mathematics being like the universal constant for aliens to sort of puzzle it out and figure out where we are. So like on the Voyager spacecraft and things like that. And then, of course, we get to see various Harrison Wells from across the realities, like Cowboy Harrison Wells, and Goofy Steampunk Harrison Wells, and Mime Harrison Wells. I mean, you could tell Tom Cavanaugh is loving this. He's having an absolute blast being able to do stuff like this. And then they ultimately settle on hipster Harrison Wells, who is just sort of like, oh my god. I mean, there's ultimately going to be something more with this guy. You just know it because Tom Cavanaugh does Sinister so damn well. So whether or not they're ultimately going to have him, Earth 2 Harry, stick around and be the permanent Harrison Wells, kind of hard to say at this point. I mean, he'd have to have a pretty good reason for abandoning his Earth to go and stay on Earth Prime, but you never know. And we'll see. They definitely love to really mix things up with Tom Cavanaugh and give him all this fun and interesting stuff to do. Let's see, what else? Yeah, actually, I think that kind of covers everything that I had to say about this episode. So I'm going to call it here, guys. As always, please comment, rate, and subscribe. Of course, you can follow me on... Oh, wait, I almost forgot. I love that bit where... Barry's giving Jesse this advice about, you have to always case the layout, make sure you know where the exits and entrances are, and he goes, oh my god, I'm turning into Oliver, because basically he was repeating almost word for word what Oliver said to him during that first crossover with the Flash. Not really sure if he should have been bandying Oliver's name around in front of Jesse like that, but we'll let that slide. Again, folks, we're going to call it here. As always, please comment, rate, and subscribe. Of course, you can follow me on Twitter at Hoosier Jedi, and please also join me on Tumblr at Jedi Review. Until next time, take care and have a good one.